It is a book about pain and overcoming it. That's Palesa Brown's powerful novel titled To My Rapists, I Thank You, which tells the story of a rape ordeal, an abusive marriage, recovery and eventual healing. The author joins us now on Zoom to tell us more about her book. Palesa, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You know, just giving that introduction, Palesa, leaves me, feeling a type of way. Just give us a brief synopsis of what your book, To My Rapist, I Thank You, is all about and what the inspiration behind the book is.
To My Rapist, I Thank You. The synopsis. Okay. When I came up with the title, To My Rapist, I Thank You, it had to do with a lot of pain, the pain that I actually endured, not only my rape ordeal, but I felt as if life has raped me of so many things because of the pain that I have endured through all my scars. And this is why the title, To My Rapist, I Thank You. So the book basically speaks of the pain starting from, I'm just going to quickly highlight all my scars. It's a scar of rejection from my dad. Then I was diagnosed with cancer at a very tender age of 16. After the cancer, I suffered a pain of grief where I lost my fiancé 3 days before our wedding. And as if that wasn't enough, I then suffered a stroke.
Sure.
While I was still recovering from the stroke, I was then gang raped by 7 men. Thereafter, I was betrayed in the rape ordeal. I was betrayed by women, that assisted the men. So that's a scar of betrayal right there, because I felt as if a woman is supposed to protect me and to fix my crown, and yet they allowed themselves to be lured into this devious act. And then thereafter, I went through mental illness. I was admitted for depression. And I also went through divorce and through car accidents as well. So basically, I was just, as I was seated here, I tried to understand, because I think there were so many things that people also wanted to understand about my life. As to where I was going. And I said, especially if I have 2 children, I needed to actually jot down certain things so that they are able to understand that the pain, at times you can't explain to your children, as to what you've been through in life, because certain things wouldn't make sense. But then if they were to actually sit down and read about mommy's life, and then they got to understand that certain choices that led to the divorce as well, because there was a lot of domestic violence as well in it. I did not just make a choice because I wanted to get divorced, but then because of the pain that I endured in my marriage as well. So this is why we are here today, and yet we have written a book that says, To My Rapist, I Thank You.
Palesa, I'm totally astounded by your bravery, the fact that you've gathered enough strength to share your story with us to inspire more people. I mean, why was it important for you to write this story? Why is it important for people to hear it?
Given what is currently happening in our country now, and I think as I was growing up, seeing women going through, so much abuse, and women being labeled, from leaving, and, the stigma of saying Begazela, Begazela has killed a lot of women. Some women are speaking till today from their graves. And it was important for me to tell that the woman out there that, it's okay. You are not defined by your scars, right? When I reflect back on my scars and my journey, I actually see the strong woman that I've become. And I said to myself, I actually vowed, because I was betrayed by 2 women, I vowed that I will be my sister's keeper. I vowed that no woman will have to go through it and make to feel that, you deserved it. Yes, there's this thing that you get raped because you were wearing, short things, whatever. But then I was raped and I was fully clothed. It was winter and I was raped. And so I said, let me jot this down somewhere out there, someone needs to hear my story. Someone needs to see that we are not defined by what we have experienced, but when we reflect back, we see how strong we are and how far we've actually come. So my story is just to be a beacon of hope to those that are still yet to decide what to do, to those that are not yet as strong as I am. Yes, it has taken me years. It took me a whole 13 years to actually come out and release my story, even though I have been jotting it down, because my story started with my mom's journey, you know. So even in my book, my story starts with my mom's journey, because she also went through a lot of domestic violence with my dad, and this is why she decided to pack up and leave.
Okay. Now, Palesa, was there ever a point in your life where you thought you were cursed or something, given the string of bad events that happened one after the other?
Yes, there was. Yes, there was. And they certainly led me to also doubt whether there is indeed a God.
Oh.
Because I remember, you know, every time I went through an ordeal, and then I said, but then this is the God that I so praise and speak highly of, but then yet how can he allow certain things to happen to me? But then I got to realize that God does not allow certain things to happen. People allow themselves to do such devious acts against other people. God has always been there. He's been the center of my life, because I believe that had he not been there, I would not be here sharing my story today. He kept me so that I can then stand and be a testimony and speak of his greatness. Yes, I felt that I was cursed, because, I mean, one bad ordeal after another. One bad ordeal after another. But then, you know what? I think that God does not send us to war unarmed. And this is my story today.
And how has this entire experience changed your relationship with men in general?
I've often asked that question. I remember I had to answer a question whether I still engage in sex after this, and I said, yes, I do. It took me a while, because I needed to heal. I needed to deal with me. There was a lot of self-hate, self-blame. I don't even know why, but then I guess it was normal. But then I got to realize that I do have a son. And I cannot go out and, you know, because I was raped by 7 men, and say that all men are trash. My son is no trash. Yes. I'm talking to you right now, my brother, you know trash. I've got brothers, uncles, and I've got friends as well. So, yes, I was raped by 7, but I was not raped by the man that I'm currently in love with. I was not raped by any other person that seems to care that is a male figure. So I condemn the fact that all men are painted with the same brush. All men did not rape me. I was raped by 7.
Yes. All right, now, Palesa, now back to the title, To My Rapists, I Thank You. I mean, the big question is, what are you thanking them for? I mean, they violated you and they took away something in you, you know, a piece of you that you probably will never get back.
I am thanking them for the fact that they could have killed me, right? I'm thanking them for the fact that through the terrible, horrific incident that happened to me, today here I am. I am as strong as can be. I can now stand boldly, and I can actually, you know, speak to masses. I am thanking them for the fact that they saved me at that time, because there was a time when I also doubted myself as to how strong I can actually be. And today here I am. I am strong because of one incident that 7 of them caused. So yes, I am thanking my rapists. And as I said, the title doesn't specifically focus on the rape ordeal. It focuses on my life in general, as to everything that I had to deal with. I thank every bad experience that I went through, because today I am stronger than the person that I was yesterday.
So how do you feel about those people right now? I mean, if you were to bump into them on the street, would that possibly trigger the memories, the painful memories of that fateful day? Or you simply would tell yourself that you are much bigger than them, you are much bigger than the ordeal that you went through that fateful day?
Well, my brother, I had to deal with that. I think this is the reason why I'm here and I'm able to share my story today, because I needed to master the art of forgiveness.
Yes.
I had an opportunity I remember 5 of the 7 were arrested back then. So I had an opportunity to actually sit and understand as to why I was raped. So I had a one-on-one with them because I needed to understand so that I can move forward. The 4 out of the 5 showed no remorse. And this is where we come to brokenness in men as well, which also plays a very, very big factor in our lives. So the 5th one explained, he actually showed some remorse, a lot of remorse, because this is where I actually had to master the art of forgiveness, as I said. So the 5th one said to me that rape is the only love language he has ever known as a child. He was molested by his dad. Then he was raped by his uncle, and he went into society, and society raped him even more. He then was arrested, and in prison he was also violated. So because of what his dad did, and he looked up to his father, he thought that was the right thing to actually do. And there I was sitting in this room with this man and the guard, and I said to myself, my humanly self was like, no, you're saying all these things because you just want me to forgive you. But then little did I know that there were actually evidence that this boy this man was violated at the time. And as I was seated there, and he said to me, Palesa, please forgive me. I don't know what came over me. It's the first time that I've raped so many women, but then it's the first time that I've actually had to sit down with somebody whom I have raped and get to understand the level of pain that I have actually caused. So, and I was like, so you want me to forgive you, right? How can I forgive you? You violated me. But then this voice came, and our father said to me, you come to me every day and you say, forgive as I have already forgiven. And right there.
Palesa, unfortunately, we're out of time. And just listening to you, you may not see it, but I'm getting heated up under the collar, just listening to your story and your ordeal. But for those who want to hear your story and lay their eyes and their hands on this book, where can they get a copy?
They can contact us on our website. It's called www.palesabrown.co.za.
Okay.
Or they can also get us on Facebook under Palesa Flower, and also on Twitter.
All right. Great chatting to you, Palesa, and thank you so much for your bravery. You are such a gem. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Have a blessed day.
Indeed. Thank you. Well, Palesa Brown is the author of the book To My Rapists, I Thank You, which is a story about pain and the triumph over it.